Hey, Nate and Chelsea here. Welcome back to the Guitar Fam Practice Plan. This is where the rubber is going to meet the road, and we're really going to start to hammer out an effective, personalized, and unique practice plan for you.
And the number one reason that I hear from guitarists, or that I notice the guitarists why they're frustrated or just not making the progress that they want to see, is because they haven't set any real concrete specific goals. I ask them when they're frustrated, I say, well, have you set any goals that you want to accomplish on the guitar? And they're like, no, not at all. And that happens like 90-95% of the time. And the way to remedy that is what we're going to do in this lesson, and that's to set 2 to 3 SMART goals.
And remember this, you don't have to be good at everything. Every guitar player has their own bag of tricks, and if you ask them to do something outside of that, often they would crash and burn. Like, I'm sure that B.B. King wasn't a great metal player.
And one thing that setting some specific goals will really help you with is, instead of taking a look at like the whole collection of everything you could ever play on the guitar as a mountain, like where do I even start? What happens is, when you get specific and set some SMART goals, some specific things that you want to do, is it eliminates that entire giant mountain and gives you one kind of medium-sized mountain that you can work on.
Like Nate said, we have to set some SMART goals. So what does that mean exactly?
It's an acronym, and you might have heard this before, but applying it to guitar can be a little bit tricky. So we're just going to go through it and give some concrete examples. The S is for specific. I was going to say smart. The S is for smart. No, S is for specific. And saying something like, I want to be really good at the guitar, is way too general, like I said earlier. A really specific goal that might apply to you if you're a beginner guitar player is, I want to be able to play all of my open chords and be able to switch between them smoothly. That's something that's very specific and pointed.
Next is the M, which stands for measurable. You need a measuring stick to know when you actually completed your goals, so that you don't just keep working on the same thing forever and ever and ever and ever. Amen. So one example, you talked about the open chords, and so one example could be, well, I want to be able to play between these open chords and be able to strum maybe quarter notes at 70 beats per minute.
Right, and have it be super smooth.
Yeah.
All right, next is attainable. As a guitarist, we often want to jump into something new and be able to play it at full tempo, blazing fast, when that's not really attainable for whatever level you're in. And a really good example of this is bar chords. Instead of saying something like, I want to be able to play all my fundamental bar chord shapes, well, that takes some people 3 to 6 months, and that might not be something that's attainable. You might get frustrated on that goal because you're not reaching it really fast. And a more attainable version of that goal would be, I want to be able to play my E bar chord shape. And just go with that smaller attainable goal, instead of being like, I want to play all the bar chords in the world all over my guitar neck.
R stands for relevant. So when you're looking at the overall direction of where you want to go, you want to make sure that the things that you're practicing are actually going to help you reach your goal. So for example, if you want to be a great folk player, then practicing fingerstyle or your open chords would probably be a lot more
relevant.
Or more relevant than what would not be relevant.
Practicing your metal chops, practicing your alternate picking for 2 hours a day. That's not really relevant to what your goal is there. So. All right, time bound is the last one. And all this means is you need to attach deadlines to whatever SMART goals that you're setting. Otherwise, the other 4 areas of SMART, S-M-A-R, don't really matter. Because what's going to happen is, if you don't have a deadline for these goals, they can stretch out forever, and you'll have no motivation or kick in the pants to be like, hey, I need to practice this. If you set a deadline of, I want to have my E bar chord learned and be able to play it cleanly by the end of the month or in 1 month, then every time you sit down to practice, you're going to be, I have to put in 15 minutes on this bar chord or I'm not going to make my goal. So putting a deadline with something is really important. And don't feel like it's in concrete either. If you don't reach your goal, reevaluate and set another deadline. But don't make the deadline so far out there in the future that you don't have that motivation or drive to actually make progress on it.
And the nice thing about setting a deadline is that it creates cyclical success, where you're reaching a goal and then you can reach another goal and another goal. And so you'll be able to get in the habit of reaching your goals on a regular basis and moving forward.
So how do you apply this? The first thing that you need to do is set some overarching goals, or one overarching goal for yourself that kind of guides everything that you do. And saying, I want to be a great guitar player is way too broad again. You're going to want to set something more specific that's an overarching goal, and usually this involves some kind of stylistic thing. For me, I'll give you an example. I want to be a good fingerstyle guitarist, and I want to be able to improvise on the electric guitar. Those are my overarching goals, and it's a lot easier than saying, I just want to be a great guitarist. It's a lot more specific.
And my overarching goal is that I want to be a better guitar player at my live gigs, so I learn cover songs that are similar to my style of music.
So a couple of overarching goal examples for you, if you're having trouble setting your own, are these. Number one, I just want to be a good blues guitar player.
Yeah, or maybe it's I want to be able to sit down and strum through some of my favorite songs.
So once you've got your overarching goal in place, you're free, and it's time to pick 2 to 3 SMART goals that are more specific and attainable and time-bound and all those things. So if your overarching goal is like, I want to be a blues guitar player, one of your SMART goals could be, I want to be able to improvise a simple blues solo over a 12-bar blues progression in 3 months. That's my goal.
Yeah, and maybe if your goal, as I had mentioned about sitting down and strumming through some of your favorite songs, maybe your goal is by the end of the summer, I want to learn all my open chords and be able to change between them smoothly.
So we'll walk you through some of our SMART goals that we have relating back to our overarching goals. So fingerstyle guitar for me is one of my big goals. But my SMART goals, and you're going to find that the more you progress, the more things are going to get musical. So my SMART goals are songs. Right now I'm working on at least 3 fingerstyle songs, and those are my practice points in my daily routine.
Yeah, and actually my practice points are also songs, and so I'll set out a song and then outline, okay, do I need to learn specific chords for this one that I don't know yet? Is there a strumming pattern that I need to master?
Yeah.
And so I'll sit down and hammer out those covers, and then for making it time bound is I'll say, okay, I want to learn this by this date so that I can make a YouTube video.
Right. And if you're into fingerstyle guitar, let me just kind of break this down even more. At first, you're going to probably need to practice some more technique-driven stuff so you have the coordination down instead of just practicing songs, or in addition to practicing songs too.
So for your overarching goal, we want to encourage you, don't get paralysis of analysis, just pick a direction. Most guitar players have one genre, and you can always change your mind. If you find that one doesn't move you the way you hoped, then you can change your mind. But just pick a direction and go with it and have fun.
Yeah, you can always adjust later if things change down the road, which they probably will. So.
Yeah. Okay, so we're going to end off with action points that you can find in your Guitar Fam Practice Plan ebook. So the first one is to pick one overarching goal. Usually that would be like a genre. It could be something else, but that's a pretty popular one. And then the next one is to pick 2 or 3 short-term SMART goals.
In addition to that, well, some of your SMART goals are probably going to be songs that you want to learn. So there's a blank list where you can go fill out 10 songs that you want to learn. It's always good to have an ongoing list of tunes that you want to learn. And as you cross them off, just replenish it and keep that list going.
And I actually just keep a playlist on my phone, so I'm constantly adding songs to it. So I'm never stuck when I finish learning a song. I never have to ask, what do I learn next? I just pick something from the playlist.
So don't forget to share your goals with us below. We'd love to hear how things are going for you over the next several weeks. And if you're having trouble with any one area of playing, you can always book a private lesson with me. The first one is completely complimentary, so there's no risk. We'll see you in the next video. We're going to actually iron out your full practice plan. That's fine.
Screw it, just do it. Okay. How are the hairs? Are the hairs okay?
Fine to me.
Bigger with every video. Guitar success cycle. Try to say that 5 times fast. Guitar success cycle. Guitar success cycle. Guitar success cycle. Guitar success cycle.
Guitar success cycle.
All right. Okay.
Oh my goodness!
It needs to be heard.
Somebody got some energy about this, but it's true.
It's true.
Okay, let's wrap.